Hi again. Um, now I'm going to talk about the secret that the community keeps, which is abuse in families, per se, families across the board, literally, right? Because it's all types of abuses. There's domestic abuse, there's abuse, sexually assaults. Um, I can't think of all the abuses, but there's a lot of abuses. Let me see if I can find the list. Okay, so the types of abuse are physical abuse, domestic violence or abuse, sexual abuse, psychological and emotional abuse, financial, modern what modern slavery, uh, organizational abuse, neglect or acts of omission, self neglect. No, types of physical abuse: hitting, slapping, punching, kicking, hair pulling, biting, pushing, rough handling, scolding, burning, physical punishments, inappropriately unlawful use of restraint, making someone possibly uncomfortable, opening a window, removing blankets, involuntary isolation, misuse of medication, unauthorized restraint, restricted movement, domestic violence or abuse, psychologically, physical, sexual, financial, and emotional. Types of sexual abuse: the R word, attempted R word, or sexual abuse, inappropriate touching, non consensual touching, non consensual sexual, um, entering places like the mouth, etc., etc. Any sexual activities that person lacks the capacity to consent to, inappropriately looking, sexual tensing, sexual harassment, sexual photography, forced to use pornography or sexual acts, indecent exposure. Let's do the mental abuse, the marital abuse, theft of money, possessions, fraud, scamming, preventing a person from accessing their own money, benefits, assets. I think I've heard some lady that's been through that. Types of modern slavery, human trafficking, forced labor, domestic, sexual exploitation, debt bondage. Okay, so the one I'm going to cover today, let me, oops, the one I'm going to cover today is going to be uh, the abuse that's in the community. Um, Now, lots of people has been through sexual abuse and don't talk about it, and that's real. That's a real thing. It's quite very deep that some people find a case to even block it out. Now, I've given examples of how this is carried out, how this is happening, like i.e. a mother who household is getting paid for by her boyfriend, but the man's really coming, like, he's taking a liking to, i.e. the right, he's saying that he likes the mother, but he's really looking at the daughter or the son in most cases, because boys go through it as well. All right. Um Sometimes it's family that also does, sexual assaults and stuff on youngsters from very young upwards. Most cases, the family tends to put a blind eye to it as well. So um this is also communities on a whole because it goes global, worldwide. Now those all those sexual things that I just listed just there, it's a lot. Pardon me. It's a lot. Now most cases it's right in front of your face, you don't even notice it. Now people like to, I mean, even adults when they become adults, they don't understand the difference between, like I said, which I've always said, between sex and relationships. They tend to put the two together because when they was touched as young, when they were younger, right? They it's hard for them to decipher the two or to see past the two, right? And also I heard one story, like I think it was last month, from about a Jamaican man, and also in America as well. Funny enough, same kind of situation. Uh, in Jamaica, the man's wife died or something. I think she either passed away or she walked out from the house or something. So it was him and his daughter, right? So as the young lady grew up, I think no, he got drunk and he took advantage of his daughter. He was doing it so often, he got his daughter pregnant. Now, in most cases, then the perpetrators don't get a lot of time for this. They'll get a lot of time, right? And that young lady probably, right? No, I think she had the baby, and now she's left holding that baby, who is her sister. Because her father who impregnated her. Now I did put Aziza on here, who went through the same thing with her father, right? So it can even go as far as even the father taking advantage of their daughter. Now, a lot of people, like I said, a lot of women, men put a lot of things on the back of their mind, the back of their heads. They do not want to talk about it. They do not even want to think about it. I mean, it's all fun talking about sex and the good parts and all that, but some people have deep inner stuff going on. Now, I know this is a subject because I've raised this subject up a few places, and then this total silence. It goes total quiet, totally quiet, totally quiet. It's like you just stop the whatever conversation is happening. But let's go. There's probably gonna be interruptions all through this video, but it's okay because my small one's not here, right? So basically, like like the reason why I say it's a community secret, like over here, for instance, there was things being said about certain people from Brixton who was big, bad man upon the road, etc., etc. Later on, it turns out that how in the 80s there was literally what you call it, grooming young ladies in the heart of Brixton. A few names came out. They are visible. Right, they are said to be the victims who said that how they literally had to dress up as boys to stop the man from liking them. All right. So there's that situation there. Now, as much as the community don't like to talk about it, so I'll talk about it, okay? Because there are loads of survivors. There's loads of people who survive sexual abuse from young. It takes them a little while to comprehend relationships, love from real love from not so real love, right? So basically, um, also it could go as far as so-called they're being promiscuous, which gets misread. Right, oh, a person's promiscuous. It can also turn into a case where that same child will turn into the perpetrator to other children, to other people. And it doesn't, there's no comprehension to what is going on because to them it's just normal. Now, now I'm going to refer to a film as well. Anton Fisher, I think it's Anton Fisher or is it R. Kelly? Somebody said that his aunt inappropriately touched him. Right, and now he went on to control young ladies, and he just was after young ladies and stuff. So there's a few different cases there. Anyway, I've got to show this article. I hope it doesn't look weird on here. Now, family. What is abuse and how to identify? So this is abuse and how to identify it. Gotta hit on the sexual abuse straight away. Sexual abuse is when a adult involves a young person in any sexual activity using sexual acts as way to demonstrate power or authority. Sexual abuse often involves physical contact, but it can also happen without touching. Some examples of sexual abuse: touching young person's parts, making them touch an adult's parts, having sex, or trying to have sex with a young person, taking off a young person's clothes and forcing them to watch, which is another um, form of a sexual abuse. But nobody wants to talk about it as usual, right? So I'm not going to go through all of them because they're quite, a certain way. I don't know how far YouTube can handle certain things. Now, another form of abuse is neglect, which is why I was talking about the mother that I keep, was constantly be coming up. Neglect is when a parent and caregiver fails to meet a young person's basic needs. Basic needs include a safe place to live, a clean, weather appropriate clothing. You have to feed the child well, hygiene, supervision, guidance, education, emotional support, medical care. Now, now we're going into abuse by family members, which I was talking about earlier, which could also turn violent because the caregiver could also turn onto the family member. Could be, i.e., child, sibling, cousin, auntie, uncle, grandparent. So, the common feelings with abuse. Living with abuse can affect the way you think about yourself, your family, your future. Abuse could trick you into telling yourself stories that are untrue, i.e., I'm ugly, i.e., I am this, i.e., I shouldn't be on earth. Okay? I.e., what's the next one? There's another one, but it's not coming to my head right now. There's another one. I.e., I don't deserve to be here, which is another I don't deserve to live, etc. Okay? Um, which can prevent you from getting help. Abuse can affect the way you feel too. The emotions caused by abuse can be complicated. You may not be sure what you're feeling. Here are examples: guilty. I know it was at least partly my fault. I should have been able to stop it. If only I had helped out more. Why did it hurt my siblings? Why did he hurt my siblings and not me? Ashamed. It is so humiliating. People will think I'm weird, and everyone will think it's my fault for not stopping it. Our neighbors will look down on my family. Angry. Why me? Nothing ever goes right for me. This just proves it. I must be punished. I hate everything. Oh, let's do the rejected one. They may as well have given me away. She must not care about me at all. Why didn't he try to protect me? Right, common myths about abuse in family. Each day, Canada, kids, teens, well, worldwide, should I say, every day, worldwide, we are not going to put one specific place. Teens are abused or neglected in their homes. There are many misconceptions about abuse and neglect, and these can sometimes prevent young people from seeking help. Myth: I come from a good family. Abuse couldn't happen to me. Truth: violence can happen in any family, neighborhood, or community. I I behave really badly, and sometimes if my caregiver abused me, it's my fault. No one deserves to be abused, no matter what they've done. If my parent yells at me and calls me names, it's not abuse. Abuse isn't just about physical harm, it's emotional abuse, neglect are also wrong and also and against the law. My parents have to hurt me to make me behave. Abuse doesn't have Abuse doesn't make children behave. In fact, young people who are abused often scared and angry, which can make their behavior worse. You see, there's another form of abuse. Or have I covered them all? Yeah, I've covered them all. So that is just the factor of most children that is going through worldwide. Worldwide. Another story has come to my head. I always talk about the witch children. Why do I talk about the witch children of Nigeria? Because Nigerians, some Nigerians, not all Nigerians, so I'm not putting all Nigerians in the same basket. Okay, they have a belief that how if something's off, something's or their family have bad luck, it's down to the child, a person, or something. So they will abuse that child, burn the child, put a nail in his head, because that is severe abuse now, right? Um, there was a lot go. There's a lot that was going on around that time when I heard about the witch children. Even in England, you hear of abuses like where like the boyfriend and the mother beat up the child, a little child, small child, and it's until when the child's passed away, that's when like they start investigating what's going on with the child. But saying that sometimes right, even social services get it wrong because they go after the good parents and then they take the bad parents will have the child. There's been cases where I watch videos and a child say, I don't want to go back home. I don't want to go back home. They will put on a whole um they'll get like, they'll get so upset, so emotional. That one time I think on Instagram there was a young lady. She said, I don't want to go home. The auntie said, why don't you want to go home? She said, oh, my dad's doing bad things to me. So the woman was trying to get something done about it. She's trying to get the child sorted out. She's trying. I don't even know whether anything came out of that because I haven't heard nothing or seen nothing since then. But if a child is quiet and isolated, or you touch them, they flinch. Something's up with them, right? Some children don't know the variety, like, like you have to tell them as a parent, no, sit this way. No, don't go sitting on Tom, Dick, and Harry's lap. No, it's not every time someone offer you food, you must take it. Nobody you say hi to, you must take it. I tell my daughter, they're bad people. She said, yes, bad people. Because she's small at the moment. When she's older, that's when I'm gonna go in deeper with her, because what people who's never been through abuse or has lived in so-called happy homes, they don't understand the culture. I mean, they say it's a cultural thing, but it's not a cultural thing because white people do it as well. Even worse, some black people go to the extreme with the abuse, to the extreme. That is said, it's all hush hush, hush hush. That is done. You know, most cases, maybe one relative might stand up for that child. Like, say, you know what, I'm taking that child. The child's better off with me than leaving that child in that situation. Most cases, they'll find it hard to get that child because of the parents. There's either something up with the parents and they cannot find a way to work around to get the rights to get the child. We see this happen many times. We see that happen online. In fact, even online, people, YouTube, for instance, right? The Tiffany haven't had Haddish and the other one, right? Or even with my Jazzy life, I have to refer to her. Levels of abuse, levels of abuse. People are blatantly trying to tell her who's in her house, and she ain't listening. She ain't dealing with her children. She's neglecting them, neglecting them. But yet, still, right? We can see on here what's going on, but she can't see, right? That's another level. That and right and that is the World Wide Web. There is the dark web. Like they talk about human trafficking. I have spoken about this because Afro Davis has spoken about this before. That's why I don't understand when people's coming into the comment section. You need to go and look at other videos, right? Afro Davis spoke about a tourist from America, I think he was. And I'm not putting all Americans in the same boat. No, I'm not. Because most Americans, right, most of them go and they build up Africa, they do what they got to do, right? This particular tourist said that how he wanted a wife and she, right, but the girl in the video looked very young, right? And he was saying, oh no, she's not young, this, that, this, that, this, that. She was under alcohol or something. He had given her something. So she was very zonked out. She wasn't all there, coherent. And then he's filming her, and it's like he's telling other men hints about, okay, right, you can come there to do whatever. We also heard what goes in Africa, that the Gambians was also giving away their children, youngers too. Where certain pictures you'll see of men in bars with a 2-year-old, carrying a 2-year-old, and they look really weird, look out of place. But the law never steps in. And so, like I said, so worldwide thing. I think because I know about Gambia and I know about certain places, I refer to them places. Abuse comes in all formal fashion. It doesn't matter whether you hear it or you don't hear it, right? You could go to a family house, they could be happy on the front line, on the front. The mother could be going through beatings. The man could be beating that woman, senseless. As then she's got to go put herself together, and then like she's got to go present herself to the world and pretend like nothing's happened until maybe she cracks and does something. The children will go through this, will hear this until the woman decides, okay, I've had enough. I'm gonna pack my stuff and I'm leaving this man. I'm taking my children with me. Sometimes even the children don't even. The woman would leave her children with that same man who beat her up on a day-to-day basis. He will turn on those children. But people don't hear that. People don't see that. You know, community's blind. Like nowadays, unless it's not a video or something. Oh well. Oh, oh, well, it's not my business. It's not my business. It's not to do with me. It's not my business. Right? A woman will be beaten or man because men get abused too. Because people don't talk about the men who get abused by their girlfriends and their wives. They look at it on a one way thing, right? The man could be brought a tough, he could be the toughest man walking. In the background, there's a woman who's beating him senseless, making him less than. And I'm not taking it away from the woman because it goes both ways. Like I said, it goes both ways, right? The only reason why I spoke about the children more because children, it's like a silent crime. It's underneath the adult's nose. The adults don't even realize what's going on unless a child takes someone secretly and go and talk to the adult. And even then, the adult don't even believe them. And then afterwards, right, the child ends up hating the people who didn't listen to them. Like I said, in numbers of videos, numbers of places, you will see these videos everywhere. One time, I remember I was on Facebook. The video was bad. It was an 18-year-old girl and a very young child. It was so bad. The person was filming it. Didn't even do nothing. Didn't even go over and stop what was going on. And this was floating all over Facebook. Right? And I'm really thinking that everybody, right, they seems to think, okay, well, it's not happening to me. I'm not going to do nothing about it. Right? Because there are some men, like I said, especially with the single mothers, they will see a single mother, they see a little girl. This is why women have to be listen carefully to how the man approach your daughter, how they approach you. Because some men tell on themselves, some men don't. You have to listen very carefully. They will approach single mothers, but this time right, they're looking at the daughter or the son. There are all sorts of acts be going on the mother don't even know. In fact, Tiffany Haddish and that other fool, Figgy Spears, whatever, right? That was a bad example to which they showed what goes on because some women do actually leave their children with strange men, uncles, actually the uncles, the granddads, they're unaware what's going on with the child. But some women are so busy, oh yeah, right, I've got to go out, I've got to go dance, I've got to do this, I've got to do that, right? And your child's in danger, your child's getting abused and all sorts of things. And you won't know till afterwards. Then when they do tell you, oh no, you lie. Now most Caribbean countries, this is really known for it. In most Caribbean countries, right? What's it? I help you everything in here. So I have free reign of everything, including your child. No, no. And that's why I call the video the secret the community. The secret the community keep I can't remember what I called it. Let me tell you. The secret the community don't want to talk about abuse, which is true. We don't want to talk about it. We talk about everything else. We talk about this one. We talk about gossip. We talk about this. When it comes to the real deepness of it, right, we don't want to talk about the abuse. Human trafficking happens every couple minutes, every couple seconds, something like that. There is a girl getting taken or being human trafficking, right? Fair enough. I was using Ali Carter at one time as an example because she had a story to tell. One time she told one story on one video. I had to put that video on private. It was so I don't know, disturbing. It was disturbing. So like I said in the comments, I know she's been through something, but she needs, right. I know there is people who will come after her, and she if she does talk. I don't know why she's messing about. I really don't know. But there was one video where she was so descriptive about what was going on. Another time, you see, even Instagram will show the most. One time, I was on Instagram, and they showed a horrible scene. Two young children. It was horrible, right? Some people get off on that shit watching it from the YouTube because there is sick people even on YouTube. There's sick people on the dark web. There's sick people who would want pictures, photographs, whatever, right? There was even a warning put out. Actually, I should even find the one where a lady was saying that on TikTok she put out her. I can't remember how old the child was. She put out the child on TikTok, and they downloaded. They downloaded the what you call it the child. They saved the child's thing. There was about over 100 or something saved of that child. Oh, I bet I can't find it. Every time when I go find something, I can't find it. There's over 100,000 pictures saved of that child. So they were saying to people, oops, they're saying to people, you mustn't post up your child like in certain places. I mean, even I do it sometimes. I forget and I do it sometimes. I don't post up my young one really. But they were saying not to do it because there's people on TikTok saving stuff, saving children's pictures. You don't know where it's going. And I just put out a warning, right? And even my Jazzy Life will say that her daughter has an Instagram and all this stuff, and she's a very young girl. She's a very young lady. I can't even find it for the life of me now. I bet when I'm not looking, I'm gonna see it. Right? They was put out a warning. They put a harsh warning for people not to put their children out. I like to show examples, but I can't find it right now. I can't find it. Right? And they were saying that there was one picture of a young lady. She was eating a lollipop or something. Was it a lollipop? A lollipop or something. And the people downloaded thousands. There was like 1,000 downloaded pictures of that little girl. Right? I mean, fair enough, right? Right? Children are cute. Right? I see some very cute baby pictures on here sometimes, or videos of babies doing funny things. You know, everybody wants to go viral, but you have to think about it on a basis. You know, where is the pictures going? Like, who's taking the pictures? When they save it that on that drive on that computer. People sell pictures as well. Um, you know. So, but really, I'm right. That's another side of things. The whole thing is that how abuse goes on even every day. Even as I'm talking now, there's probably bloody abuse going on somewhere. Someone getting hit, or she's probably trying to put herself together. She's already taken the children to school. She's probably gone back home. She has to tidy up her house or do the motherly things, you know, or him, like, you know, because there is house husbands as well. She's like, you know, right, right, it's been through a whole set of arguments and stuff going on, and then they turn and they slap the person. So these ones are all abuses, and people don't want to cipher what is going on. They rather run away from the subject because, oh no, it's not me. It's not going to happen to me. right? I put on also, there's also a group called Sister Space. And they were saying that how, compared to a white woman, a black woman doesn't get treated very well for domestic violence, right? I put their website out. You could go see it for yourself. It's down if you put it into, I think, the search, you should see Sister Space, right? They work with women who, when the police don't come out and do their job properly, they're there to help alongside the women go through the domestic violence. There is another lady called Tamara. I can't remember her other name. She was dealing with past abuses of women from the past, right? She told her story. Her story was so sad, what she went through, right? And she was very descriptive to what was going on with her. She didn't bring it onto herself. She was only a little girl at the time. But once again, I think the mum did. I can't remember whether the mum tossed him out or something like that. But it's just it's it's one of those kind of subjects per se. People don't like to talk about it because they black it out. They block it out. Oh no! Oh no! I don't want to talk about it. Well, there is groups that you could talk about it to. Even if you can't, well, I'm not saying put your business on YouTube. That's not a good place to put your stuff on. Talk to somebody. Tomorrow in the UK, I don't know whether there's ones advocates in the US and other places. Hi, Nicola Rogers. Oh, hi. Sorry, do recognize you. Right? There, there is women. There's women that you could talk to. You have to choose the right woman or right friend as well to talk to and tell her that you've been through that. Because some people they will say, "Oh no, you're just using it. You're using it." Now, why would the woman want to use her abuse as a, I don't know, as a badge of honor? That's not a badge of honor. That's not a badge of honor. Sometimes they try to tell you because they've been through the trauma, right? And they go through this trauma for ages, like I said, right? That's why it's turned. That's why they always come out. Oh, she's promiscuous. She's promiscuous. And I've used that word. She's promiscuous, right? Some women take certain attentions because they grew up or been through whatever they've been through in life. They think male attention is the best attention, right? Because maybe I am not saying I'm no psychologist or nothing. No, I'm not a psychologist. I'm not an expert, but I would say that most of the time, when a woman is wanting a male company a lot, okay, and I'm not aiming at nobody, by the way, okay, I'm just saying that maybe maybe it's because of what happened in the past. Because, like I said, a lot of women don't talk about it. There's a lot of women try to block out or put it low in their back of them. They don't want to think about those things. Oh no, I don't. Oh no, I don't want to think about that. But then it repeats in your children because, like, you brought this man into your life. He's takes set on your daughter. Some stepfathers are good. Some they are bad stepfathers, and they are good stepfathers. Hi, hi, Upcar. There are good stepfathers and there are bad stepfathers. The bad stepfathers is the one who takes set upon your daughter, your son, and anything else uh, and anything else they can put their tig into. And I'm not saying all men are like that, right? There's a selection of men. They call it a sexual deviant, right? And he knows exactly who to go to. He knows, right? But You see, when your child sits and tells you, "Oh, this happened to me." Oh no, no, no! Don't tell me them things. There. No, 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 no. Yes, yes. Some of those mothers from the 90s, I will say, the mothers from the 90s was the worst ones. Okay, not the 90s. No, is it the 90s mother? Am I wrong? The 80s and 90s mother, the ones who's now 60, 50, I don't even know how old. I think, I don't know. They're 60, 60, so like that. Because my mum's around about 60 right now. Right? When you sit down as their daughter and you say, "Oh, this happened to me." No, 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 that never happened to you. No, no. Oh, the next thing you hear is, "Oh, well, I knew it." Well, if you knew it, why didn't you do that? Why didn't you do that? Right? And so it'll be the cousins, the granddads, the uncles, the whoever else. Someone, a friend comes to their house that they know, and he's there on your child, looking at your child, calling, calling your child my wife. Don't let nobody call your child my wife, my husband. One time, one lady, I'll give you a good example too. My son come out, right? Cause my son was younger that time, right? He going through puberty, right? And there was a woman sitting there. I know this woman for long actually, right? So he came out, and he said, "Hi, hi, auntie." She looked at him so weirdly. He felt so uncomfortable. He said hi, and he ran out the room. He was so uncomfortable. Then when she left, he said, "Mom, I don't like how she looked at me." I said, "Yeah, I know, I saw it too." Because women could take set upon your son too. Big woman. Though they say it's a man thing. No, it's not just a man thing. Like to keep saying, it's not just a man thing. It's both ways. Because it's like it's learnt ways. It's like they can't tell the difference between a pubescent child and an adult. Oh, someone's gonna knock the door. I know they are. Hold up a minute. Oops. So they can't tell the difference. So a pubescent adult. Anyway, what was I gonna say? In the West Indies, West Indians have this thing where they say, "Willie don't have no address," and that is true. Penis don't have no address. They just like to dip it in here, there, and everywhere, everywhere, and everywhere. It don't matter. Even I've witnessed big man look on schoolgirls dressed in their school uniform, and they're looking at them all strangely. You're like, but they're schoolgirls. You can see they still got their bets, like they still got their milk around the mouth, the mother's milk around their mouth. But once again, like I said, we don't talk about these things. We talk about it's all hush hush. Oh no, don't say nothing until when a girl gets pregnant by the father. So it's like the grandmother's raising the sister and the mother at the same time. And they're unawares of what's going on. I mean, that article covered quite a few pointers on there. Okay, I mean, like you can watch it on the replay because there's quite a few pointers about the inappropriate touching, all sorts of things on there, right? And the community don't even think about those things. They don't think about those things. I mean, I brought up. I'm trying not to see his name, but one in Brixton, and how they were grooming the girls because in the community centre they had a raised bed made in there. All sorts of things used to go on in there. Yes, Dancehall Queen is another one. That's a good example. Dancehall Queen. Let me put it up. Remember the movie Dancehall Queen? The mother pimped out her daughter to a family friend who was paying rent. Yes, yes, I remember that one. There's been quite a few movies where like the daughters have been pimped out. It's just normal. Just normal. I spoke about Eve of the Bayou where it looked kind of sus with the father and the daughter, right? But it's like a unknown word, a hush hush. Them days it was hush hush. Color Purple, famous Color Purple, Celie, an underage mother. There's many different examples on film, and in real life, there's a lot of real life, lot of examples in real life, which I think I've covered some of them already. Aziza, the Jamaican man who impregnated his daughter. There's so many examples. Okay. There's even this saying that men was saying as well that the boys, okay, there's one saying where like in Trinidad, what they also was doing, right? I think I've heard it on one of these channels. Um I think a boy or somebody did get abused or something. No, or or they got thrown out of the house because the stepfather didn't want to take care of them. So while they're on the street, being that they're young and everything, they get picked up by a car and things will happen to them. To Trinidad, a lady had to go and make a safe house for these young children who's put out because of their parents. Their mother chose the stepfather or boyfriend above them. So that it like there's this place called the Red House. They used to sleep around the Red House. It's similar to the Gully Queens kind of situation. Does it Gully Queens? The Gully Queens kind of situation. The boys was chucked out because the man didn't want a young boy around his mother no more. He wanted to rule the roost. So he told the mother to chuck out the son. He said two lions can't rule the house. So the boy will go out, right, unguided, whatever, get caught up in all sorts of things, including exploitation of their bodies, etc. And this woman and this man had to make a home for them. And even in homes, even stuff like that goes on. Homes, orphanages, there was history of that going on. Like there's a lot of abuses everywhere. Like I think I can't even list half of them. So I think I said enough. I think I said enough. I have. I think I've said enough. I think I've covered everything. I don't know whether I've covered everything, but hopefully I've covered everything. But please leave a comment underneath because subjects like this does actually need to be spoken about. It's really one of the subjects that nobody wants to talk about. They tend to run away from it. And it's quite sad. Okay. So thank you for passing through, Nicola Rogers and and Granny Akka. Yeah, it is. Yeah, it's a good subject. Yes, yes, they don't want to hear anything. Yes, that's the mothers, isn't it? I'll go to watch the Gully Queens on YouTube. Yes, they're very good because because they were saying, oh, right, they some of them was gay already, and some of them because they went through abuses, and that's why they turned the way they turned as well. But when you watch it, you see anyway. You see what I'm talking. You see what's go on. But anyways, I'm gonna come off. Have a good day, good afternoon. Let me play this again though.